What if the biggest mistake of your life didn't destroy your future, but quietly prepared you for it? Tonight, I want to tell you a true story about two brothers. One moment of deception, years of regret, and a meeting so emotional it could have ended in blood, but instead ended in forgiveness. This is not a sermon. This is a story about family, fear, waiting, broken trust, and the slow, painful way God changes a person from the inside out. This is the story of Jacob and Esau, and it might sound closer to your life than you expect. Jacob and Esau were twins, but from the beginning, they couldn't have been more different. Esau was strong, loud, a man of the field. He lived fast and followed his appetite. Jacob was quiet, thoughtful, observant. He stayed close to home. He watched people. He remembered things, and deep inside Jacob, there was one thing he wanted more than anything: his father's blessing. Not just the words, the future, the inheritance, the promise. One ordinary day, Esau came home exhausted and hungry after hunting. Jacob was cooking. And in one careless moment, Esau traded something priceless for a simple bowl of food. He laughed it off. Jacob never forgot it. Years later, when their father Isaac was old and nearly blind, Jacob made the most dangerous decision of his life. With his mother's help, he dressed like Esau, smelled like Esau, spoke like Esau, and he stood before his own father and took the blessing that was meant for his brother. When Esau found out, something broke. His pain turned into anger. His anger turned into a plan. He was going to kill Jacob. Jacob ran, not bravely, not confidently. He ran afraid. He left his family, his future, everything familiar. And that night, alone in the wilderness, with only a stone for a pillow, Jacob finally stopped running long enough to listen. He slept. And God met him there, not in a lecture, not in punishment, but in a promise. God reminded Jacob that even when you make the wrong choices, He is still able to guide your future. Jacob woke up shaken, not because his life was fixed, but because he realized something important. God had not given up on him. So Jacob kept walking. Eventually, he arrived in a new land, at his uncle's home. His name was Laban, and Jacob thought he was finally starting over. That's when he met Rachel. She was kind, gentle, warm, and for the first time since leaving home, Jacob felt hope again. He fell in love quickly. He offered to work for Laban for 7 years just to marry her. 7 years, long days, heavy work, no shortcuts. But love makes time move differently. When the wedding finally came, Jacob believed his long season of waiting was finally over. But the next morning, he woke up beside the wrong woman. It was Leah, Rachel's older sister. Laban had deceived him, the same way Jacob once deceived his own father. For the first time, Jacob felt what betrayal really feels like: confused, embarrassed, trapped. Laban simply smiled and said, "This is how things are done here." Jacob stayed. He worked again. 7 more years. This time for Rachel. Now Jacob had 2 wives: Leah, unloved and overlooked; Rachel, and deeply loved but unable to have children. The home became heavy: quiet jealousy, silent pain, long nights of disappointment. Leah cried in rooms no one noticed. Rachel cried for a child she could not hold, and Jacob stood in the middle of emotional tension he never planned for. But God was still working, slowly, quietly. God blessed Jacob's work. The flocks grew, his wealth increased, his household became large. But peace was still missing. Laban grew suspicious, controlling, greedy. Jacob realized something important. Success without peace still feels like slavery. One night, Jacob made another difficult decision. He would leave, not secretly forever, but quietly, so he could protect his family. He packed everything: wives, children, animals, servants, and started the long road home. But there was one problem he could no longer avoid: Esau, the brother he had betrayed, the brother who once wanted him dead. When Jacob heard that Esau was coming to meet him with 400 men, fear returned. Not the loud kind, the quiet kind that tightens your chest. The kind that reminds you of everything you wish you could undo. That night, Jacob was alone again, just like years before. But this time, he didn't run. He prayed, not with pretty words, not with confidence, but with honesty. He admitted his fear, he admitted his past, he admitted his need, and something strange happened. Jacob wrestled through the night, not with his brother, not with his past, but with God. By morning, Jacob was changed, not stronger, but softer, more humble. He walked forward with a limp, but with a different heart. The next day, Esau appeared in the distance. Jacob moved ahead of his family. No tricks, no disguises, no lies. He bowed, again and again and again, waiting for anger, waiting for punishment, waiting for what he deserved. But instead, Esau ran. He didn't shout, he didn't strike, he embraced him. 2 grown men, 2 broken histories, 1 moment of healing. Jacob wept, Esau wept. Years of silence collapsed into one powerful hug. Jacob finally understood something that had taken a lifetime to learn. You cannot undo the past, but you can walk into a better future, not because you earned it, but because God still works with broken people. This story is not about a perfect man. Jacob lied, he manipulated, he ran, he made complicated decisions that hurt people. But God never stopped shaping him, not quickly, not easily, but faithfully. Jacob started his life trying to take what he wanted. He ended his journey learning how to trust what God would give. Sometimes the longest road is not across a desert. It is from pride to humility, from fear to faith, from control to surrender. And sometimes the very thing you are afraid to face is where your healing is waiting. Because God is not finished with you either, not yet, not even close. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like this video. Subscribe to this channel for more real and meaningful Bible stories told with heart and clarity, and leave a comment below. I would love to know which part of Jacob's journey spoke to you the most. It truly helps this message reach more people.